Okay, and I'm taking a razor blade now and I'm just going very carefully around those edges just inside my pencil mark and scraping everything away, making sure there is no finish underneath the bridge, and there was finish before. There's the bridge plate, and it runs completely all the way across to the side, to the bottom here. Same thing on this end. You know, instead of it just laying underneath the bridge, it comes clear up here in both directions. I never saw a bridge plate like that before. One of the main keys is getting glue everywhere that this bridge is going to touch. That's very important. So I like to put it on the bridge as well as the guitar itself. I like to see a lot of squeeze out. Is always a good thing. So if you ever got to do your guitar this way, here's a good place to learn how. At least when I can remember to tell you the steps involved. Okay, so there we are, glue on both pieces. Just roughly get that in the right area for the moment. And then I want to stick these in there, just to make sure we are where we're supposed to be. Going to be a lot of fluctuation here bringing this up to pitch. I thought y'all might want to see that. Listen to that. That thing is awesome sound. Still out of tune. Is it going to come apart? Is it going to blow up? Here is your saddle. See if I'm getting that on camera. Yeah. You can see the saddle is actually two pieces. Ebony, and that looks like maple. Maple with ebony on the top of it. So that's what the saddle looks like. This piece you're looking at right here is called the spider bridge. Okay? The cone, of course, is underneath that. See how filthy that is. That's why I want it. That really affects your sound a lot too. But there's a screw right here that goes down through the top of the spider bridge into the cone, and you can adjust that cone. You can pull it up or shove it down with that screw, and greatly change the sound of your instrument. I need a bigger screwdriver, so hold on. There's the spider bridge. Now, boy, that thing's dirty. This spider bridge has to be perfectly flat. All of these legs have to be identically flat, okay? Some people sets the whole entire thing down on a sandpaper, you know, on a flat surface. Gives us that number until each one of these legs are exactly flat with each other. It's very important that those are flat. There we go. Look at the filth, man, in that cone. I don't know if the camera will get all that or not, but it's full of dust and road stuff. I drug this thing all over the country last music season. Like I say, they're not all made exactly like this. This chamber right here helps strengthen the entire structure. This is just more support for the neck, just something to help you hold it in place in case you do put the old big nut over top of the original nut and play it, you know, like a dobro with a bar, you know what I mean, on your lap. Thought the old Blue Ridge broke out, folks. What do you think? I can't chord it for shit because of my hand, but Blue Ridge BR160. Someone changed the keys on it. I didn't do that. I don't know who did it. It was like that when I bought the guitar. But I thought I would get it out and set the thing up. The action seems a little bit high down here. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But I thought I'd just run you through that, give you a quick update on the hand problems and how it's coming along. It's not coming very good. It's very depressing to not be able to play guitar like I am used to playing and want to play. You know what I mean? Yeah, check that out, man. Slides right underneath there. It's still 18. It's perfect. 7th, 8th, and 9th fret. I'm going to note, let's see, 12, 15. I'm going to note the 17th fret because the truss rod comes back in here. Yeah, I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to note the 17th fret. I'm going to check, I got a 12 thousandths here. 7th, 8th, and 9th fret. And yeah, it's right on the money. There again, I try to hold the guitar where the strap would go by the strap button, check it in playing position, because that's where it counts. 5/64 on the bass side, and 4/64 on the high E. I'm not going to touch that. I measured it off at 60 thousandths. That's how much we want to remove. So I put the saddle in this vise and I left that 60 thousandths sticking out, I'll sand down until the sander hits the vise, until it's flat with it, and I'll know that I have the correct height then. Headphone lovers, you're going to love this. That should get our action down to around 5 or 6 64s. At least that's the goal. In playing position, right? Hold it where the strap normally would connect, and measure your action. Should be around 5 or 6 64s. On this bass side, it's 5 64s. We hit that right on the money as well. High side is 4 64s. So that's perfect. Guys and gals can remember when you were young, and say you played an instrument and it needed work done to it, and your daddy had to drive you 200 miles to the nearest guitar tech or luthier or someone with the capabilities of fixing your instrument. Do you remember those days? I mean, you know, you would drive, even not your daddy take you, but you'd say you drive yourself when you were young, old enough to drive. And your instrument need repair, so you'd drive 100 miles, 200 miles to get this guy to fix whatever your instrument needed. And then you pay him, and then you've got, you know, that much in gas and whatever it costs to pay him. Do you remember those days? And you were just starting out, you know, and it was tough, man. It was hard just to find somebody to work on your instrument. So this kid, like I say, I think he's taking guitar lessons in high school, I think. You know, it's probably, I don't think he's employed. He probably doesn't have a lot of money, and you know, he needs his guitar fixed so he can learn how to play guitar. I think he's going to be pretty happy tomorrow when he comes and picks this up and finds that I'm not going to charge him for this. I mean, you know, if someone would have helped me out like that back in those days, it would have meant a great deal to me. I always had to pay a lot of money, you know, for whatever work I had done, even as I got older, before I learned how to work on instruments. So I started working on my own instruments many years ago, and then quit that for several years. I've been back into it for a few years again now, I started working on my own instruments again, and then I guess word got out, people wanted me to work on their instruments, and that grew, and they started coming from different states, and now different countries. I get instruments from different countries. Saddle, the width of it this way, this width of it, it's not very thick. It's what, maybe, I don't know, 1/16 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch at most. The thickness of your saddle is how much intonation adjustment that you have. Okay, now if you look at this saddle, this is a tusk saddle. It's compensated. If you can see, first and second strings, the break angle are near the bridge pins. The third, fourth, and fifth, the break angle are away from the bridge pins. And the sixth string, the bass string there you see, I think is nearer the bridge pins. Okay, let's say we're in tune, we're up to pitch, 440 standard tuning. Get a harmonic on your first string on the first fret. And then note the first string, not the first fret, the 12th fret, dummy. Harmonic at the 12th fret. And then note the 12th fret and use a reliable tuner for this, because it can be off a few cents, your ear might not hear it. Okay? Let's say that that note noted is sharp. Okay? If it's sharp, what that means, to correct that, you have to make the distance from that 12th fret to the break angle on the saddle. You got to make that distance longer, okay? Under the same tension, if this string was longer, under the same tension, the same tuning, if it was longer, that note noted at the 12th fret would be lower, okay? If it's sharp, you need to increase the distance under the same tension, and it'll solve your intonation problem if you have an intonation problem there. Same thing goes for every string. Say the 5th string. If it's flat and you need to raise that noted note at the 12th fret, under the same string tension, you need to make this distance from the break angle point on the saddle to the 12th fret. You need to make that distance shorter. Okay? Now, in order to do that, you would have to get in here with a file and file the back side of this saddle. Okay? You with me? File the back side of the saddle nearest the bridge pins, and file it in a way that the string, where the string leaves the saddle, is nearer this side of the saddle than it is this side. Okay, that would shorten the distance, shorten the length of string. You see what I mean?
Are you with me?
Okay, let's say the 3rd fret, 2nd string is flat, and we've done everything back here we can do. This note is flat. The last option we have is what I was talking about, routing this nut out about half the width of the nut to make the 2nd string break angle farther up. What we're doing is increasing the entire scale length of the guitar. It may not sound like very much, the width of half the width of the nut, but it's enough to make a big difference. Okay? So we increase the entire scale length on this 1/2 string that's noting flat on the 3rd fret, and we do that by changing the break angle of that string on the nut from the fretboard side of it up, making it break on the upper side toward the pegs. That increases the scale length. Obviously we can't move the frets, but we can increase the scale length. Okay? Then when you note in that very same place with a longer scale length, well, first your center of the 12th fret is also going to move in the same direction that you increase the length, so the harmonic there over the 12th fret would slightly move in this direction. Okay? Then when you note this note right here with it in tune, after you've routed out the 2nd string to make the break angle on the peg head side of the nut instead of down here, then when you hit this D note, it's going to be sharper because you've increased the scale length, you've increased it, and you're noting here in the same place on the 3rd fret, but the scale length on that string is a little bit longer, so it's going to make that note a little bit sharper. Same thing applies for every string. You can do every string if you want to. I learned this trick off of Jeff Stelling. He builds Stelling banjos, and he does his banjos, a lot of them, this way. Okay, this is looking down inside the guitar hole. Give you a perspective on what we're looking at. That's the first brace nearest the neck on the back of the guitar. You see the knife stuck clear through it. I can slide that knife from the center there all the way over to that side. The other side of the brace over here is exactly the same way. There's 4 braces in there, and they're all 4 like that. I got a flashlight and a camera in one hand, and I'm pressing down on the top of the guitar with the other. And you're looking into a mirror at braces on the top. I hope you can see that moving. That's one of the loose braces on the top. But as I shove the top down, you can see it separate. No bridge there, as you can see. You run the straight edge down the straight flat fretboard. Check that out, man. There's not more than, I don't know, I'd guess maybe a quarter of an inch, if that much, probably less than a quarter of an inch. And, hold on. Look at that. It is bad, folks. There's quite a gap between that brace and the back. I have a, like I say, I have a light in there that's shining. Hopefully you can see that. That's the brace loose on one side. Hold on. Alright, there you go. Now you can see the brace pulled up on it. Check that out, how far that brace is pulled up. It'll be real easy to get glue under that one. And then as you can see here, I was telling you, that brace is one of the ones I have out right now. And of course, the next one up as well. That one. Those jacks, screwed all the way in as small as they will go, like that, are too long to fit in this guitar. Check that out. You're looking, I got a mirror inside this guitar, and it's kind of cocked up on the side of the guitar so I can get you these weird angles. That one's fixed now. You can see where both of those, I've got a jack on that one. I just glued that one that's got the jack on it just now. Wipe the excess away. It's a little bit wet in there yet, but still see the wet glue. Oh, squeeze out right there. Gotta get that out of there. Let's jack it. We all been waiting for this moment.